Hi, everybody. I'm Laurie Cadden, and this is Talk of the Town, and we are on at 715 Cedar Avenue, the home of many things happening on at the Gardens of Cedar, right, Frank? We are here with Mr. Frank Dubas, who is a wonderful man who I've heard about so many times of all the good he does here. Had the fortunate opportunity of meeting him over the phone a couple months back for Sandra and Maury and the Star Award at Broadway Theater. Frank and I had a long conversation. Here we are again. His picture was in the paper last weekend with a beautiful heart that said Frank and Mary Grace, which is his wife of, you said, 44 years?
44 years, yes.
Okay, Mary Grace is in the background here helping with the hearts. So this place is being transformed into a wonderful garden. Frank had the trees lit at Christmas. He's having all of these hearts. His goal is 1,000. They are free to you. Their hearts are donated to him. If you go on gardenofcedar@gmail.com. All you have to do is say, put this on it, please, and a heart in your name will be put here. Frank, it's a wonderful labor of love.
Thank you.
So Frank lives in Connecticut, but he's also a dual resident here in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So Frank, tell everybody what was the whole reason you decided to do something like this.
Well, first of all, I grew up in Jessup, so I have roots in the area. But after college, I moved away, and I was away for 42 years. I had a very, very successful career in New York City. I worked for a firm called Deloitte for 42 years, and now I'm retired. Upon retirement, I was basically looking for something to do, and they asked me to be on the board of trustees of the University of Scranton, which got me reacclimated with Scranton. And so I came to my first board meeting and took a walk around the neighborhood. And I decided not to walk around just downtown Scranton. I decided to walk around some of the other areas of Scranton, and happened to walk around Southside and Cedar Avenue. And walked down the street here. I saw a for sale sign on the lot, and called up the real estate agent. Cut to the chase, I ended up buying the lot, and I purchased it, and then created a not-for-profit company. And I donated the lot to the not-for-profit, all with the thought that this could be a community garden on this lot right here for a population that's our neighborhood that lives all in this area.
Yeah, and I love the idea. I love community gardens, Frank. So, and like we talked yesterday, gardening is so important. The vegetables, what you start as a seed and you see it grow, and the people who do this, they're a different breed of people who garden and love to do it. And I think it's amazing. I don't really do it as much as I love the whole idea and the concept, but I love the community part here in South Scranton and in all of our cities, our local towns. They're getting more and more ethnic, and other people are moving in, other ethnicities, and it's wonderful because so much of what they bring to this garden and what they grow and how they need the proper soil, the proper light. It's going to be amazing what will come of it when you have all these people come together. Is that hopefully what will happen?
That's what I hope, because I know nothing about gardening.
Yeah.
But I want to have a community garden here, but there are a lot of people here who do. And the idea would be that they would come together as a community. If you look around this neighborhood, there are a number of gardens in the small. It's densely populated, but there's not much room to garden, and a lot of people live in apartments.
Right.
A lot of the homes around here are they may look like single-family homes, but they're also
yeah.
apartments. So the idea is to have an open space, and this is designed as a community park garden, so that it's also like passive recreation type. People will be able to come and walk through here, and just enjoy the space. And there will be gardening space as well, so it has a dual purpose.
Frank, will there be both flower gardens and vegetable, or what do you see that being?
The primary purpose is vegetable garden. However, we plan to have pollinating flowers here. And they will probably extend along the borders of the property where you might see concrete walls right now. We're going to put planters on top of those concrete walls. And so the borders right now, although they look like concrete, you will see flowers on them during the winter. Like right now, you're seeing bricks and mortars
Right,
and a lot of hearts.
a lot of hearts, but a lot of hard work from the guys behind us,
Yes.
and your thought of having this done. So all of these concrete borders will have planters on them.
That's the intent. Yes, that's the intent. The materials are already here. They should start on that next week.
I love it. So tell us a little bit about the thought of the hearts, and tell everybody, again, I said you can get your own heart, which we'll talk about again, but tell them about the involvement of the kids at school and why you thought this would be a cool idea.
Well, first of all, the Garden of Cedar is designed to be, a year-round venue. If you think of the planting season, it's 5 or 6 months. But my thought was, what else can we use the Garden of Cedar for? So in the fall, while it was still under construction, we put skeletons here for Halloween. For Christmas, we had, for the holiday season, we had the trees lit. We had Santa Claus here. We had gifts here. We had a tree here for the kids. Now we're in the dead of winter, and the thought just came like Valentine's Day is coming. Why don't we celebrate it? Why don't we celebrate it in some way? This is live, so we're getting
live,
trucks.
Right? So Valentine's Day celebration, right? I mean, it's really good. We're going to walk up a little.
Yes, a Valentine's Day celebration. I was here a couple of weeks ago, and I looked at the progress we were making in the construction, and I said, well, how can we brighten this place up a lot? And I will tell you this, having been away from Scranton for 42 years, you come back here and you realize that this place has a lot of heart. So why not show it?
That's right. And the hearts they are. So the best way to do it. What about the kids and the involvement from the schools that you spoke of?
Well, it's a massive progress. Our project. Our goal is 1,000 hearts in the Garden of Cedar. So the hearts were donated, and we figure, how are we going to get 1,000 hearts? My script is terrible, so we had the idea, and the school children have been involved in other projects before, and I know some of the art teachers at the 2 Scranton public high schools, West Scranton High School and Scranton High School.
And I graduated from West, by the way. But
well, that's great. I was over there this morning. I picked up a bunch of hearts, and so I contacted the teachers, and can I say their names?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Ann McNally and Carrie Ruddy Archer are the 2 teachers that I spoke to. And I asked them, would their art students be willing to do the script work? So what's happening is people are writing to me, emailing to me, what they would like on their hearts. And it's first names only, no last names, because we don't want to, better that way. And so I delivered blank hearts, and then I send over lists. And the kids during free periods or whatever, there are lunch periods. They're
signing them up.
They're scripting them.
There you go.
with the inscriptions.
So, Frank, you were on the front with, because I want Mark to look right here. Mark, can you look in at that one? Frank wrote, Frank and Mary Grace, as he calls her Gracie, which I love. And I even sent mine in when I read that, Frank, and I found it, Mark. So see it up there? Laurie and Meyer, 20 years, here's to 20 more. So this is like, look at all, when you look at this, does it make you say, oh, we're going to get there?
We will get there. But I do have a correction for you.
Oh, what is it?
I didn't write that. My wife did.
Yeah, okay. You
Okay,
didn't
she's right over there.
Mary Grace, I'm giving her credit. Mary Grace does it. Okay.
She did it.
But it is a labor of love here, no pun intended, for you doing this, Frank, and getting your wife involved. Yesterday we spoke. You were on your way back from Connecticut back to Scranton.
Yes.
I want to say also, people may be familiar, Frank had commissioned the picture of the painting on the wall of the 500 block of Lackawanna Avenue of John Lennon. What was the significance for you with that?
The significance, the John Lennon mural, was basically, it came at a time when it was, well, first of all, John Lennon was 40 years old when he was, tragically lost his life in New York City. And it came on at the 40-year anniversary of his death. So, you look, and 40 years, sometimes you look biblical terms and everything like that. You see 40 years, it's almost like the passing of a generation and everything, or one generation to the next. And I just thought 40 years afterwards, let's do something.
Yeah.
So that's why and that went very well as well.
I know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And Frank, we're going to tell everybody how they can get a heart, because as Frank said, his goal is 1,000, which I think,
Okay.
look a little closer here, Frank.
Okay.
What do you think? Do you think you can plead with everybody, give me 1,000 hearts, and how do they go about telling you, and I'm putting my hand up too much today, but tell everybody how, again, they can get their message to you.
Well, I'm not going to plead, because we're going to make 1,000.
Okay, there
Okay.
you go.
So but we could use your help. The way to do it is to email the Garden of Cedar, and the email address is gardenofcedar@gmail.com, and it's spelled exactly like you would spell gardenofcedar@gmail.com. And send that, and you'll get on the list for a heart.
There you go. And that's all it takes. So we hope that you listen to Frank. We hope that, maybe this will spark somebody else to do something. See a piece of land that could be turned into something beautiful in all of our little towns, and maybe something else can be done. Because it took a guy who drove by, grew up here, moved out of town, came back through his alma mater, the university, came back, and here he is buying a lot and putting all this love into it. So who knows? But I'm thrilled that Frank did it. Happy to have him as a citizen here. And thank you very much, because it's wonderful. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'd just like to add something here.
Sure.
Okay, first of all, on February 11th, okay, we will have an open house here.
Okay.
The open house it's a Saturday from 2 to 4. And the Gertrude Hawk Company has donated 240 Valentine candy bars.
Great.
We're inviting people to come here and find their heart, at the Garden of Cedar. And one thing I'd like to mention also is that this community park garden has been designed with ADA accessibility. All of the pathways through here, someone with a walker, a cane, or a wheelchair could make it through here. They'll have to go through the curves, but it is done with it is 100% ADA accessible.
Frank, you've done a wonderful job. Mark's going to scan a few of these for us as we're closing. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of what you're doing, for your big heart and Mary Grace's to do this and to bring this wonderful stuff to Scranton. So thank you for that.
And thank you for planting your heart here.
Thank you very much.
All righty.
Okay, nice to talk to you.
Nice
All right,
talking to
everybody,
you.
thank you so much for listening. Again, it's gardenofcedar@gmail.com. Give him an email and tell him who you want on the heart. And thank you so much for listening, everybody. I'll see you real soon. I'm Laurie Cadden, and this is Talk of the Town.